Good afternoon. It is November 1st, 2013. This is Jason Horak reporting on the ongoing adventures of the Dodge Daytona Electric Vehicle. It's a little bit windy today, so I'm hoping that the camera doesn't pick up too much of this wind noise. But basically, just wanted to show you how beautiful a day it was. It's about 65 degrees, nice and sunny, which is very atypical for a central New York November 1st. So anyway, I wanted to show you something that's been going on with the Daytona. What we've got going on today is the fuel inlet port, or the old gas port on the side of the car, which is where I charge the electric vehicle. And one thing that's been happening is during the last couple car shows, when I would show off people would always ask me, hey, where do you recharge it? And or how do you recharge it? And I say, oh, I just plug it in on the side. So I'll show them the port, and they're all impressed usually by how cool it looks. The fact that it's normally where the gas goes just kind of makes it neat when people are looking at it. But it hasn't looked really all that good. The paint's starting to go. As you can see, we got lots of it really was primed originally and not painted very well with the original car. And it's 1987. It's now 2013, so we're our paint's fading a bit. So anyway, my plan is to paint it black so it'll disappear. This whole inside part, figure I'll paint it black, and it should look pretty decent. As you can see, I've removed the door, so this is just the fuel door there that kind of latches in with this little button. So when you press the button next to the driver's seat, it releases the door and it flips open. So as you can see, I left the Unleaded Fuel Only sticker on there, and I thought it was kind of ironic to leave it there and so forth, but as you can see, it's starting to peel, and so that doesn't look very good. So I'm going to go ahead and rip that off, and then maybe we'll stick like a electric symbol only, or danger high voltage, or something fun. So anyway, so that's the door, and that is the taped off fuel filler hole. So it's really tricky because the paint, the actual car paint, kind of goes in and curves around the edge here. So, and you're going to kind of see it even with the door closed. So I tried to create a little lip of the tape just around the edge, just a hair, and then tried to make it as circular as I could with the tape, just kind of eyeballing it. So anyway, that should be kind of interesting. One of the other things that I'm going to do is I took a piece of cardboard and made a cutout that's just big enough to fit around the hole with a little bit to spare, and that'll keep any spray over. I'm going to tape this onto here before I paint, and then that way there won't be getting spray paint all over the rest of my car. So that is kind of the plan for cleaning that up a bit, and I'm going to go ahead and move the camera so that we can take a look at the actual fuel port and what I'm doing with that. Alright, so this is the actual fuel filler port, or fuel inlet port, perhaps. So anyway, it's a Reliance, a marine style charge port. And flip it up here, we can see that it has 3 main pins plus the grounding pin on the side. And then it's a twist lock. It kind of goes in and twists like that. Anyway, so this is the one that I chose for my EV because it's very hardy. It's used for boats, on docks and so forth for charging, and it's a fairly common item, in that I can just order a new one online, and it's not like special to EVs or anything. So anyway, so that's what goes in there. The way it hooks up in the back is we have the 3 main leads, and then the ground wire, and it may be kind of hard to see on the camera, I'm not sure, and they're pushed through, and then they're screwed in to hold them down. So it's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. The trouble is that this is actually pretty exposed. Where it lives in my vehicle is up here in the fuel, or in the wheel well. So it actually goes up inside of the wheel well there, and then up in the back to that. So it's completely exposed to all of the mud and the rocks and the debris and so forth. So anyway, so what I had done originally was that I had taped this off with electrical tape around each connection, and then covered the entire mass with a big wad. I mean, just so much electrical tape it wasn't even funny. Trying to keep it as dry and away from the elements and protected as possible. So that worked pretty well for a couple of years. But recent events with blowing up chargers, especially in heavy rainstorms, got me to thinking that maybe this was getting water in here and causing shorts. I don't see any evidence of a short in here. You know, there's no sparking or anything or flashover stuff going on. But just in case, I decided that I would take this opportunity to pull this all apart and do something a little bit different. So what my plan is, let's see if I can get this in here a little better so you can kind of see. So my master plan is to cover all of this with silicone, with rubber silicone, just as a big mass of it, to keep putting on the layers until all of this is completely encased in a watertight seal, including where the screws are, all the way around, you know, and like that. And then I'll probably do something like put some duct tape or something else that's strong around all of that, just to kind of hold it in. This piping here, just by the way, is a PEX tubing, usually used for like hot water or that kind of thing. It's really thick plastic. You couldn't wear through that, even if it ran on the tire for a while. It would take a long time to wear through this plastic. So just really thick, really inflexible, hard to work with, kind of a pain in the butt, but it does protect this this wire. So inside is a standard household shielded wire, or not shielded, but just like for running dryers and electric stoves and that kind of thing. And it's, you know, thick. It's, you know, beefy wire, because I wanted to make sure that I could carry the 50 amps without causing a problem. So anyway, so that is kind of the plan there. Is I'm going to try covering it up with silicone rubber and you know, waterproof silicone rubber stuff, and it should be hopefully a better a better sealed thing. Not get any water in there. It'll keep it out of the end of this pipe, and yeah, we should be in pretty good shape. So just again, because that's in such an exposed location, I figured that's what we should do. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and start the whole painting process here. And today is an unseasonably warm. You know, it's 60 degrees in the garage right now for a fall day in early November. That's quite remarkable. Sometimes we have snow at this point. So anyway, the car is all up on the jack stands, and that's because I'm working on several other projects as well, including hopefully painting that side piece with the hammered black, just like I did on the bumper, the back bumper, and the front bumper. I think the side would look really nice. The lower panel there, also black. So that's kind of my plan. I may hold off doing that just because, you know, it is 60 degrees and it's very rare that it's this warm. It may have to wait until next spring, but at the very least we'll get my charging situation resolved, and we'll go from there. Okay, this is just a quick update. Wanted to show you what it looked like with the primer on there. This is a Rust-Oleum automotive primer, which happens to be gray in this case, or really light gray. And yeah, so it came out pretty good. I also painted the whole interior up and behind. It's very hard to see up there, but that's all good too. And basically we're doing pretty decent here. It's now dry, and I'm going to go ahead and put the next coat, or the first coat rather, of the black on there, the old Rust-Oleum hammered black, and we'll go ahead and get that taken care of and be right back in just a moment. Okay, so the paint is now fully dry, and we're going to go ahead and take this cardboard off of it and see what it looks like underneath. Alright. So, yeah, got a little bit of overspray despite my best efforts. So I'll go ahead and remove this tape, then we'll get that cleaned up. I found that brake fluid works really well for getting off oversprayed paint, and as long as you put it on to get the extra spray paint off of it and then immediately get it washed off with soap and water, then it's all good. It doesn't have a chance to hurt the enamel or the finish on the car. So anyway, that's kind of where we're at. I'm gonna have to take all this wonderful blue tape off, which is always kind of a pain, and then we'll see how it looks. Be right back. Alright, so as you can see, we've got all that black paint off, a little overspray. Brake fluid does the trick once again. And what I've done here is I've got the fuel door put back on, and I stripped off that sticker and I painted it hammered black, just on the inside, and then of course on the inside of this here, looking good, looking nice and shiny in there. So anyway, this is about as cleaned up as I can get it. It doesn't look as good as I would really hope on the outside. You know, I got it open, looks awesome. Go ahead and close it, and as you can see, there's a little bit of a black circle around it. I don't know if anyone will really notice, especially when they look past the, all the dings and the nicks and everything that's in the red paint that I haven't touched. So at some point, I'm going to have the red paint redone on this car, and I think that'll make it look really nice. Maybe I'll go with like a candy apple or something. Who knows? Get wild and crazy. But anyway, that is the fuel door at the moment. And let me reposition the camera, and I will show you what's all going on with the inlet port. Okay, so here's what we got going on down here. As you can see, I've taken the cord and stripped all the wire back, cleaned up all these ends as best I could, did contact cleaner on them and so forth. And so this is the inlet port, just kind of the bare Reliance controls. I think it's called a PK50 inlet port. It does say Marine Co. on it, but when I looked up online to buy a replacement, it all came up as Reliance controls, which is based on the cover here. So, which I'm not sure if the camera's making that out because of the lighting, but there you go, Reliance. Anyway, so these are the parts. So basically, this goes in here, and then it ends up screwing into that, and then what it has got is this piece here, which is just it's actually a for the back of a outlet box. It's just a metal outlet box cover, and so it's actually the front of the outlet box, but yeah, anyway. And so I cut a hole in it, kind of a rough cut hole that was the right size for this thing, and then this goes through and has like a rubber gasket that meets up with the back of this plastic piece to form a watertight seal, or at least reasonably watertight, like that. In my case, because it's going up here in the fuel inlet, port here in the door, it's all exposed in the back of the wheel well. So what I'm going to do is cover all of these ends. I'm going to do the camera here. Okay. So all these things go in here in the appropriate order, and they're labeled on the back here. This is actually kind of, I had to go look this up because I couldn't remember from when I did this many years ago, but basically what we've got is there's 3 leads and a ground, and these two are the hot. I don't know if my camera's making that. There you go. These two are the hots, and this one's the neutral, and then this is the ground. And so on the back, they're labeled. There's a little ground symbol on this one, and this one's a W and a Y and an X. So the Y and the X are the two hots, the W is the neutral, and then the ground is the ground. So anyway, you just kind of slide them in there, and then there's a little screw on the side that you tighten it down, and it kind of compresses that all the way around. It holds really tightly. So that's all good. But again, this is inside the wheel well, and so there's going to be mud and crap getting all over this. So what I'm going to do, just for fun, is I have this ultra black maximum oil resistance silicone, not to be confused with silicone, but silicone sealant that they use for making gaskets for like around your oil pan and that kind of thing. And so it's really good stuff. It's rated to super high temperatures, not that that matters in this case, but the biggest thing is, it's low odor, non-corrosive, sensor safe, and anyway, so I think that'll work out a lot nicer. I was going to use the silicone caulk, this stuff, but I did some research online, and they said that this was actually kind of corrosive, to the copper. This is silicone 2, so it really should have been okay, but just to be on the safe side, I'm going to use the ultra black. And besides, black, way cooler than the clear. So my plan is, I'm going to cover this entire section after I get these all screwed in. This is all going to be wadded up with a big, covered with ultra black, and because when it hardens, it's still like a flexible material. I think it'll keep it from cracking and so forth over time. And so anyway, so ultra black, that's the plan. On here, it's going to be really kind of tricky because of the length that I have to deal with on the cable. It's all kind of tied in underneath in the mid battery box, kind of up under there. And so I don't have a lot of play in the cable at this point, so I kind of have to feed it up through there and get it all secured in, then put the the ultra black stuff on it, and get that all hardened and ready to go, then get it all secured together. So I'm not sure how much of that I'm going to be able to get on camera, but I'll give it a try, and worst case, I'll just show you how it looks when it's done. Alright, thank you. I'll be back in a bit. Alright, so this is what it looks like with the ultra black silicone stuff on it. As you can see, it's flexible. This is dry, even though it looks like it's still kind of wet. And it says it'll take about 24 hours to fully cure. But at this point, it's a complete waterproof seal. And, again, flexible and squishy, yet dry to the touch. And, yeah, so anyway, I think this will make a really good sealant for this. And all the wires are completely covered, as well as the end of the pipe here. This is the backing, of course, that's going to go on the back there. That goes up in the wheel well. But anyway, just kind of wanted to show you what that looked like. It's perhaps not the prettiest thing in the world, but it's going to be up in behind the fender where nobody's really going to see it anyway, and it just needs to be functional in that it'll keep the water out. So anyway, that's where we are with that. Alrighty then. So now with everything all put back together, basically exactly like it used to look, only hopefully less bad. Anyway, we have the door, and it's nice and solid. As you can hear, it really has a strong spring to it. But yeah, it's all nice and shiny and hammered black inside. The door is now hammered black, and all of the bolts have been replaced with brand new shiny bolts that hopefully will be a little more impressive when I go to show people where I plug my car in. So once we close the fuel door, you'll see that it looks pretty much like it did before, possibly even worse. I'm not sure how much of an improvement we've made. We have all these little flecks of paint that are missing just from where it had gotten beat up in days gone by. So now, in addition to the red paint flecks missing, we have this nice dark border inside that you can kind of see. which kind of makes it even stand out possibly more. I don't know. So I'm not sure if it will really improve matters at all, but I do feel better about it being waterproof now, and you know, on the inside the wheel well. Yeah. Anyway, that is that particular project under wraps. So I guess we'll move on to the next one, which is going to be the other end of this cable and doing stuff inside the car. Be back in a bit.